What's up, YouTube? I am live streaming right now as I'm recording this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my banner review that I usually do for you guys for the brand new banner that just came out, featuring Qubeley, full armor, double Zeta, and also the Glemmy Toto. Those of you on Twitch and YouTube say hi, but we're gonna go ahead and just get right to it. So we're gonna jump into the featured right here. We're gonna see what's first at a rate up. Okay, cool. Well, I see some new stuff here. So it looks like we got Gundam EZ8 High Mobility Custom and Halphus as our SSRs. Also Dove and Wolf. So for those of you that don't have that, you guys can get it from this banner. I'm not going to review those since, you know, those are units we've seen before. But I do see a brand new SSR ship. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what this ship is all about. Okay, so it's an SSR ship for Mobile Suit Gundam. It's another HP restoration. This is the Amari Ounce and the La Vie en Rose. I hope I said that correctly. Not bad. So if you pull this and you don't have anything for double Zeta, it's not a bad ship for SSR. I like the SD restoration. Obviously, UR ships are going to be better, but this is pretty much the new SSR that's on this banner. You can also get the Phoenix Gundam Power Unleashed as a rate up unit on this banner as well. This is available on the standard banner, so obviously you're not going to be chasing this, but if you are looking for copies of it or still trying to get it and you are going to pull on this banner, this is one that you are where you could get it at a rate up. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the ship again first. Again, I stated this on my Should You Pull video. This is a pretty solid ship, only because of the HP restoration, and also the Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta series is a pretty solid series. As you can see right there, this is what we got there. Definitely benefits the Zeta Gundam that we got here. So this is what you have available to you right here. But all in all, I think it's a solid ship. You're not chasing it, especially because this is not limited, but it's solid for me. So that's my opinion on that. Tara, thank you so much for the $2 dono on YouTube. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at Judau Ashta first and his full armor double Zeta. Okay, so this is what we got here. That's a huge amount of HP at 144k at max limit break. Just keep that in mind. But I do like that. I'm not digging the no shield mechanism. I find that when it comes to defensive units, that shield mechanism is always helpful. You know, added mitigation is always going to be a thing for me when it comes to defensive units. But again, we have seen that this at least the pilot is able to recover like 50% HP when its HP goes down, below 50%. And also this unit gets a defense increase up to 50% whenever it's attacked. If you take a look at its details, these are the tags that it has. So you got UC series, you have Saikamu, Protagonist, Unstoppable, and New Type. So you got some solid tags there overall. We are seeing more and more UR ships come out, particularly, you know, focusing on these tags. So if you have those, especially, for example, Saikamu and Unstoppable, then you could definitely consider using this defensive unit if you have those UR warships available to you. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at its abilities or its passives. So it has increased max HP. It has that condition that we just talked about where it increases its defense by 10% each time it takes damage from an enemy up to 50%. And then it has physical and beam weapons damage reduction. So when the enemy attacks with physical or beam, it reduces damage by 30%. So there's our mitigation right there. Keep in mind that if you're getting hit with an EX ability, it does have that weapon damage nullification null. But this is still pretty good. This is good. Okay, so maybe that's why they didn't give it shield mechanism. I still would have liked it to have that, but this is kind of making up for it. Okay, so we're going to take a look at its actual weapon skills. We've seen the high mega cannon. This has 5400 power, and as we see right there, it's AoE, and it inflicts attack down 25% as AoE. At the base level, they showed it at 15%. So 25% is solid. So you got, a bunch of enemies getting an attack down at 25%. Obviously not better than the single target one, but if you're looking to reduce the damage of like a ton of like enemy units, this is pretty solid. Let's take a look at its high mega cannon. So for a defensive unit, I would say 6,720 power is pretty high. It has a range of 4. It's not at 5, but 4 is also pretty good. It is beam special. It has absolute hit, and it decreases beam weapon power by 35%. I actually think that's pretty solid because a lot of these so-called, if you want to call them like top-tier meta UR DPS units, tend to lean towards beam weapons. That's actually a pretty good debuff. I actually think that's really strong. The power is good, especially for a defensive unit. So that's a really, really good skill right there. let's take a look at its other range skills. So it has Barrage, 5400 power is respectable, no effect, but the range is pretty good on it, and it has double beam rifle with a 4 range kills. All in all, that's pretty solid for a non-limited type defender. This is actually a pretty good unit in my opinion. This is a really solid unit. But the thing is, if you miss out on it, I would say it's not the end of the world. You could always get this on a future banner because it's not limited. And then the pilot itself. Okay, so his awaken and reaction stats are pretty high. Unfortunately, no double support. I was hoping this pilot had double support, but his skills might make up for it. So HP repair, I love it. High speed is good. Save energy. I would have preferred something else, but maybe they're trying to balance him out. I mean, if they gave him that, might as well give him the double support, but it is what it is. And then afterwards, if we take a look at his abilities, he has the new type, increase own awaken and reaction by 20%. If he defends, increase own defense by 20%. And then when he's executing a support defense, increase defense by another 20%. And if he's piloting Ayug, which is a pretty common tag, reduce damage taken by 15%. And if he's piloting his own unit, he has that essentially a second lifeline, which restores his HP by 50% only once if he falls below 50%. So I guess that's the kind of the balance there. Would have wished that he had the double support, but all in all, I do think Judau is a pretty solid pilot. The only thing that's holding him back is that lack of double support. But all in all, I think he's great. I think this, for a non-limited unit and non-limited pilot, very strong. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Qubeley now. This is going to be our limited time attacker. So this is going to be what the hype is for this banner. 13,000 attack, I think, is solid. Not the highest that we've seen for an attacker type unit, but let's see if the passives can make up for it, because we know that this unit has a lot of crazy passives. I am seeing shield mechanism there, which is cool. I wish that the full armor double Zeta had that, but it's cool that this unit has it. Passive wise, increase attack by 15%. When enemies are from the specific tag, which is Saikamu. If we take a look at Saikamu here, I mean, this is the list of Saikamu here. There's a lot of really powerful units here that this unit can counter. So you get an increase in own attack and defense by 20%. So this kind of makes up for that lack of attack that we're seeing there. And then beam damage reduce is always nice. Again, a lot of the more powerful UR attackers or attackers in general have beam weapons. So reducing it by 40% is actually pretty significant. If we take a look at the tags, we got Saikamu, new type, rival, unstoppable, Neo Zeon, which are all fantastic tags. The ones that stand out for me are going to be rival, Saikamu, new type, and unstoppable. Specifically Saikamu and unstoppable because we have some really fantastic ships for that. And then if we look at its actual weapon skills, let's look at funnels first, because a lot of like the more iconic units have this. So the higher HP remaining, the greater the weapon power, up to 15%. It has a fantastic range at 5 with a base power at 4320. Very good. And then finally, its actual hard-hitting skill is Funnels EX. So it has a 5 range, power at 6480, which is not bad. Absolute hit. The farther you are from the enemy, the greater the weapon power, up to a 20% increase, which is really strong. So we have ourselves another ranged attacker. So we've seen Hainu, we've seen Strike Freedom, and we have another one here with the Qubeley. Okay, so all in all, very strong unit. It's a counter to Saikamu. There's a lot of strong units that have that tag. I don't think this unit is niche despite that, because this unit is still pretty strong. It does lack a little attack in my opinion, but all in all, I do think it's a strong unit. I don't think overall, in my opinion, it's as impressive as Strike Freedom or as Hainu, but you guys let me know in the comment section. And finally, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the pilot herself. So you got Haman Khan here boasting an incredible, take a look at that, 812 awaken and 706 reaction. So that's pretty darn high with those stats. Awaken boost. So I'm not sure if she's the first character to have this, but she can boost her own awaken by 25%, which is huge. So she's all about, so this is going to increase the amount of damage she can deal with awaken type weapons. She has attack burst, which is also great, and boost range. So she's pretty loaded. I mean, if you pop all these skills at once and then like launch her Funnels EX, that's a lot of damage. And if you best bet if that's a Saikamu enemy unit, that's probably close to a one-shot or even potentially a one-shot. So that's a lot of damage that you're stacking right there. Plus the boost range helps even more with the passive that the Funnels EX has, where you want to be farther from your enemy. Okay, the abilities, we have increased damage dealt, increased unawakened reaction. When piloting Neo Zeon, when piloting Qubeley, increase attack by 4% up to 20 for each unit bearing the above tag. So if you're building a Neo Zeon team, here's Neo Zeon. We'll take a look. So if you're building a team based on this is going to be particularly useful for some Eternal Roads where you want to take these type of units. This is where this unit will really gain a massive attack boost. And then when piloting Neo Zeon, increased damage dealt by 15% and reduced damage by 15%. So all in all, I do think this banner is solid. I personally don't think it's as impressive as other banners we've seen with limited type attackers. But all in all, it's good. I do think that, personally, I actually really like the full armored double Zeta, despite the lack of double support defense. Qubeley is strong, but if you have units like Hainu, or for example Strike Freedom, I think this banner is still a pass in my opinion, especially with Gundam Wing 30th we haven't gotten anything for that. So if you're waiting for something that's more of like that, or like something that you're really like hyped up for, that you're looking forward to, like 00 or like G Gundam, then this banner is definitely a pass. But if you're lacking like a solid like range damage dealer, this could be one to consider because of the amount of attack that it can stack based on the enemies that you're facing. But all in all, solid banner. Again, if you're a whale or you like any of these units, you're going to pull. But if you're free to play, or if you're on the fence and you're thinking about if you should be pulling or not, and you already have something that can essentially kind of compare or compete with this, then you should probably pass on this banner. But this is going to go ahead and conclude my banner review. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you for those of you that are tuning in to Twitch and YouTube that are watching this while I record this. Take care, everybody, and stay blessed.